Okay, I think I am live. How are you guys? Happy Monday. It's good to see you guys. If you're popping on, definitely say hi. Let me know where you're from. If you're catching the replay later, definitely hashtag replay so that I can come back and I can see that you saw it and I can answer any of your questions. So I'm going to keep an eye in the comments. Facebook's been weird with me lately. I couldn't see any comments last week. So definitely comment me, say hi, let me know that you're joining me so I can see you. Today, we're going to talk about stress. This is something that I hear about from you guys a lot. It's something that we deal with a lot and we have been dealing with the last couple of years. So I want to talk about stress hormones in particular. Our adrenal glands actually produce stress hormones to help us regulate things like our metabolism, our immune system, blood pressure, and things like that. Our body's response, the way that we respond to stress. So I want to go into these adrenals today and how we can support them. There's two parts to the adrenal glands in general, the cortex and the medulla. I'll get a little nerdy with you guys in case you want to know what's going on in your body, and then we'll skip to the stuff. Okay, so the cortex and the medulla are the two parts of the adrenal glands. The cortex produces adrenal androgens known as epinephrine and norepinephrine. These are your fight or flight responders. This is when you almost get hit by a car. These norepinephrine, it releases norepinephrine, epinephrine for your body to handle the stress of the situation. So the adrenals in general are like these little bean-shaped glands on top of your kidneys. They're part of something we call the HPA axis. I'll get to the good stuff in a minute. This is just the nerdy stuff. But the HPA axis is called the hypothalamic pituitary axis. And it's basically, to break it down for you, it's a communication system between our brain and those kidney bean shaped glands above our kidneys. Okay, so we have two adrenal glands sitting on top of each kidney, and the outer part produces hormones and pre-hormones. So if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, Wendy, well, what's a pre-hormone? A pre-hormone, excuse me, a pre-hormone helps your body create hormones. So pre-hormones, they aren't quite hormones, but they help your body to create hormones. And these include aldosterone, DHEA, and cortisol. Okay, let's get into each three of those things. And we'll start with cortisol, because this is probably the one you guys are most familiar with. This is our body's number one stress hormone. This is considered a primary hormone. What I mean by primary is without it, you could die. So you've got to have cortisol. So cortisol levels are supposed to peak in the morning, around 7 or 8. They should be at their highest, and then they should slowly decline throughout the day and drop off. So if you struggle with getting up in the mornings, or maybe you feel wired but exhausted at night, like maybe you're just cortisol is a little out of whack. So you should be feeling tired and ready to go to bed, not this wired and tired, like can't go to sleep feeling. And you should be able to get up in the morning pretty easily and have some energy. If this isn't happening, this is a sign that the cortisol is probably out of whack. Okay, let's move on to aldosterone. Aldosterone helps regulate blood pressure. So if you're producing too much aldosterone, your kidneys will start to retain sodium and you can start to see some high blood pressure. DHEA. Okay, this is what I would consider the pre-hormone that we talked about earlier. So DHEA is like a pre-hormone. It helps do a lot of things. It helps regulate blood sugar. It keeps you from being hangry. It also helps support your bones. So DHEA is really important. Women can make testosterone and estrogen from DHEA. And these hormones are normally made in our ovaries. Okay, so ladies, we have two modes here. We've got baby making and non-baby making modes. So when it comes to making babies, we rely on our adrenals. So if you're aging, if you're after menopause, you're relying more on your adrenals than your ovaries. Pre-baby making, relying on your ovaries. So if you're aging, this is really important. Listen up. Okay, when people are really stressed for a long time, they'll have low levels of testosterone and feel really crappy. And when your adrenals are stressed, so DHEA and testosterone, they fall because they're secondary hormones. So they're not like cortisol, that's primary. These are secondary, so they're going to be sacrificed so your body can keep producing cortisol. So if you're stressed, your body is producing cortisol to manage the stress, and DHEA and testosterone will be sacrificed. Okay, so you're basically sacrificing hormones that you need so your body can keep functioning. It's trying to handle the stress. Let's talk about some symptoms. I've gone through kind of what's going on in your body when stuff starts whacking out. But let's talk about some symptoms that are off when your stress response is out of whack. We talked about waking up in the mornings. So waking up in the mornings feeling unrested. Maybe you should be able to go to sleep at night and sleep 7 hours, 8 hours, and feel rested. If you wake up in the morning and you don't feel rested, just say me in the comments. This is one of the symptoms. If you're feeling exhausted or like kind of go kaput in the afternoons and you feel this like energy crash and you feel like you just have to take a nap, put me in the comments. Do you get like wired or get this burst of energy at night and then you feel like you can't settle down, you can't go to sleep? If you said yes to 1, 2, or maybe even all of these things, then you really need to pay attention to what I'm going to say next, because your body's telling you what's coming, and what's coming and what happens next is usually not very cool. It's not something that you want to go through. These are the symptoms that start happening a little later: dizziness, irritability, brain fog. Do you go without food for 4 or 5 hours? Do you crave salty foods? Do you have pain, inflammation in your muscles or your joints? Do you find that you're getting sick often? Maybe your sex drive is lower than you want it to be. These are all physical responses to these chronic stressors, like over time. So, for example, you've got, road rage or something that happens in the moment, and then you've got the small daily stresses of like your job or an illness or a family member being ill or something going on with your kids. These stressors over time lead to chronic stress. So, do you feel like you just don't have energy for the things that you want to do? Put me in comments if that's you. So 2020, 2021 have been really rough, guys. I don't think I have to repeat that twice. So I've heard you guys, every time I come on here and I've talked about stress, gathered enough comments and feedback and information from you that I have an announcement. So there's a 4-part workshop the month of October to help women support their adrenal system. It's called Stress Camp, and it starts October 8th. It'll go for 4 Fridays. That's 4 Fridays in October. So if you answered yes to any of these questions, if this stuff is out of whack, you're not going to feel very productive or focused because maybe your blood sugar's off, your sleep is going to be off. It's just going to throw a lot of things off, so you won't be as productive. And I want to help you learn how to support your hormones and support your adrenals so that you are functioning better and feeling better throughout the day. So let me just walk you through what we're going to do 4 weeks into this stress camp. So week number 1, we're going to focus on your cortisol levels because that is the number 1. So if you feel like you can't get out of bed in the morning, this is for you. We're going to work on ways to boost your resilience to stress. We're going to work on getting your circadian rhythms right so you can get to bed, you get to sleep at night. Because cortisol and this not being able to sleep is part of the biggest issue. So we want to spend this first week figuring out how to make cortisol your best friend, your BFF. Okay, so we are going to set you up for better sleep so that you feel rested when you wake up, and sweet dreams make happy hormones. That's pretty much sums that up. So that's week 1. Week 2, we're going to talk about supporting what kind of support that you need in your stage of stress. Because we're all in probably different stages when it comes to stress. So we all have stress, let's face it, but could be physical stress from working out too hard. Maybe you're running, maybe you're under eating. So many different things. It could be more like chronic stress, that long-term stress. So wherever you're at in your stage, we're going to work on ways to support you. So whether you have years of chronic stress and it's showing in your hormones, or whether you have some acute phase stressors right now at this point in your life and it's throwing off some of your sleep patterns, we're going to work on ways to balance out the stress to help you be more resilient. So we're going to come up with some strategies this week to support you in that stage. You're going to figure out what stage of stress you're in and what type of things that you need to support it. Week 3, we're going to work on managing your BS. That's your blood sugar levels. So if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm sorry, there's this meme, I can see it now. I'm sorry for what I said when I was hangry. If this is you, then this is what we're going to go through on this week. So you're going to learn that your hunger response is directly related to your blood sugar levels. So we're going to make sure that we're getting enough regular, reliable meals so that we're able to have better blood glucose management. We're going to cover some smart systems this week for balancing your blood sugar, making sure you don't have any nutrient deficiencies, making sure that you're getting enough regular, reliable meals to nourish yourself, and some more solutions to really work on to make sure that your blood sugar is balanced. And then week 4, it's dancing with the hormones, the hormone cha-cha. So hormones, it's like a dance. When estrogen rises, progesterone falls. And that's just how it goes. So I think this last week, after we've done all the things that you need to do to support your body to feel better, you want to be able to move forward and learn how to deal with these ebbs and flows of your hormones. So we're going to go over some hormone 101. You're not going to leave without understanding what's going on with your hormones and how your stress response could be causing these hormones to go out of balance, out of whack. And you're going to learn how to correct that, how to correct the imbalances. So we're mainly focusing on stress hormones for this workshop series, because I see this as like the biggest issue. So much more, you guys, than almost anything else in this group. It all comes back down to stress hormones. So we're going to look at how you can focus, how you can build up resilience to stress, and what that stress hormone balance looks like. We're going to apply the things that we've learned through weeks 1, 2, and 3 and give you something to go off of in week 4 when we leave. So this stress camp, it's all about thriving. We're not just trying to survive day to day. I want you guys to thrive and know how to handle this stress when it hits you. So if you feel like you wake up each day and you're just reacting and you're just trying to survive, this is for you. So it's a 4-part adrenal workshop to promote hormonal harmony. And it's called Stress Camp. We start October 8th. So if you are interested in it, just put stress in the comments and I can make sure that I get back to you. So if any of you guys have questions, specific questions about Stress Camp, leave them in the comments for me. And I guess I just want to leave you with one thought, that if this is you and you're struggling with any of these symptoms, please take care of this before it escalates into a bigger problem. You'll save yourself in the long run so much more time, money, and hassle if you take steps to manage your stress right now. So I can't wait to see you at Stress Camp starting October 8th. If you're interested, stress in comments. Thank you guys for joining me. I will see you next Monday.